My name's Ria and I'm talking on behalf of Earthstrike Merseyside. The chant that Earthstrike Merseyside will be leading as we march in the anti-capitalist bloc of this protest is climate change is a war of the rich against the poor. When we say this, we mean it in two ways. First, it's a war of the rich against the poor within each nation. Between 2000 and 2014, food prices doubled due to a combination of agribusiness land grabs, monoculture, and soil and water depletion, inflicting misery on the poor and working class in every country. In Britain, it is the poor and working class who live in the areas with the highest pollution levels, and it is the poor and working class who are forced into eating unhealthy, processed foods because they're cheaper to buy and cheaper to heat up or cook. Second, it's a war of rich nations against poor nations. Rich imperialist countries like Britain are driving environmental destruction and global warming as they exploit poorer countries around the world. They plunder their natural resources, their oil, their minerals, their land. They bribe a small layer within these poorer countries to hand over resources at rock-bottom prices. This is a new form of colonialism. British banks like Barclays are funneling billions into the fossil fuel industry, while HSBC is funding businesses in Indonesia to burn down rainforest so they can use the land for palm oil plantations. 1/3 of all CO2 emissions comes from the burning of forests, so big business can use the land for things like palm oil, commodities that they can sell for huge profits. We are watching as the world's natural defences against global warming are being set alight in the name of making profit for a few people. British-based mining giants such as Anglo-American, BHP Billiton, Glencore and Rio Tinto are collectively involved in over 250 mining-related conflicts in Latin America alone. These conflicts are over issues such as environmental degradation, pollution, water theft, the repression and criminalization of community opposition. And we have seen as the search for rare metals such as cobalt and titanium have led to disastrous ecological breakdown and appalling conflicts in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Most recently, we've seen the disgraceful attempts of the imperialist countries to undermine Bolivian President Evo Morales as they seek to replace him with somebody willing to hand over Bolivia's huge lithium reserves. It is the poor around the world and the poor countries who are paying the price and suffering the consequences of a climate crisis that they are not causing. There can be no solution to the climate crisis that does not change the relationship between rich and poor countries. First, abolish the so-called third world debt that keeps countries enslaved and facilitates the looting of them. Second, monopolies use their position to plunder and steal land and raw materials from poorer countries, deepening their economic enslavement. These are two simple steps, but who is up for the challenge that means it will have to stand against the existing system of imperialist exploitation? countries are up for that challenge. But we at Earthstrike are, and we say that if you want a future, you need to join us. Climate change is a war, and we're on the side of the poor. Thank you.